I think we're live. I think we are good. Facebook is just taking a moment to open up.
All right.
All right. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to our weekly Tuesday talks. I'm Natalie, and joining me today
And I'm Steph.
is Steph. Today's call is all about the juggling act called life. So what I mean is really, how do we actually balance life? And Steph is going to take us through some of the ways she helps women learn to actually balance and juggle this life, this work-life, mom, wife balance. But before we dive in, we want to make sure that you don't miss out on any future coaching calls. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our page and turn on notifications so that way you're alerted the next time we share a post or go live. All right. So we know that life is never fully a balancing act, because I don't think we could ever really balance all that life has to throw at us between kids and work and partners and social life and rest and friends and eating well and moving and me time. It just seems like all too much. Raise your hand, right?
Yeah.
A lot. So how do we actually do it all? And how do we navigate it all? I feel like sometimes I'm losing my mind trying to stay on top of it all and do it all and shift gears and it's just a lot. So
yeah.
In the beginning of my journey, there is where I was really struggling. So previous, 6 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I didn't know how to be a mom of two. So actually it was around the time I had my daughter. So she'll be 6. So actually it kind of started happening when I was pregnant with her. I was working. I was trying to take care of myself, the house, be a present partner, be a present parent, be a good friend. It was a lot. And my mental health, actually, it suffered a lot. I didn't feel like me anymore. I felt fried, like I was just done. I was anxious. I was overwhelmed. I was constantly lashing out. My emotions were seriously all over the place. I wasn't very present in my life, and I was literally just going through the motions. I felt like a shell. Like I was like, get up, kids, work, house, do it all over again. I remembered I would try to exercise. It was a serious struggle. I tried eating well. And as a nutritionist, it was like, I have to eat a certain way, but I would be exhausted. And then if I didn't eat that certain way, it was like I failed. But you're juggling between trying to eat well, and I was struggling trying to be this next level. I was making my own food for my kids. So it was like I was trying to do all the things. And what I found out was that it was really difficult to do all of these things, trying to exercise, trying to eat well, trying to make sure my family ate well. There was just so much happening. And it was just like literally all the balls were in the air, so to speak. And I just felt like they were all falling and I was failing. Like I was just like getting knocked out by them because I couldn't keep them up. I couldn't do the juggling act any longer. And I was focused on the stuff. And some days I didn't feel like I was actually doing any of it anyways. I was so hyper focused, but it was like nothing was actually getting accomplished. And so this is where that perpetuating cycle of failure I was stuck in, and but I didn't see it. And like I said, I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start to make any changes or how to make them sustainable. I didn't know what to even focus on first anymore. I didn't know what to focus on. I was like, do I do this? Is it this cleanse? Like, I was stuck. And if you can relate to this, then keep listening, because Steph helped me to shift the gears in this area. And it helped me to learn how to find this balance, like this form of a balance for me, and to help me learn how to navigate all that life is throwing in my direction, and how to remain focused on what's important to me, and how to navigate this in each aspect of my life. So Steph, I'm going to pass the torch to you. You take it away. This is your area of focus. I'm just a product of your assistance and help.
Well, thank you for sharing. I've used this technique for myself, as well as like plenty of my clients, either in my private practice or inside the SLM. It provides such success for women to break it down this way. So the thing that we have to remember is that we aren't always going to have it all together. Sometimes balls are going to drop, and we're going to have to leave things behind. Like, it's just going to have to happen that way. It just depends on the season that you're in. But every time you learn to kind of pivot in this season that you're in, you learn to strengthen some of these skills, which is really learning to be flexible with life and learn to adapt to the changes. So what I like to teach women to do is first identify all the areas in life that are important to you. These are the activities you enjoy, the relationships you have, the roles you play, all the things that really keep you busy daily. I call these things your gas tanks. So each one of these categories creates a gas tank for your life. You can have the gas tank of social life, work life, mom life, partner, and your exercise, your nutrition, your household, etc., etc. Basically, all the areas that you devote your attention to, the areas you want to spend more time in, the ones that you constantly get dropped right now, but are still important to you. Just first identify all of these. So once you've created your gas tanks, I want you to take a moment and really look at them and determine how full they are right now. Like, if you spend a lot of time and energy devoting to them right now, then they're probably quite full. But we also want to look, how satisfied are you in those areas? Just because they are full, it doesn't equate to satisfaction. So you may spend a lot of time and energy with a focus on it, but it doesn't actually fill up make you feel good and satisfied with your life. So those are two important areas that we have to start looking at when it comes to all the areas and all the things that you're doing. So these gas tanks give you a visual representation, basically, of your life, the important areas and what is actually then missing. When you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and stressed, it typically means that the other areas of your life that are not full, they're not satisfying, and you're lacking in joy and pleasure in those areas. So basically, one or more of those gas tanks are running on empty. So there are the areas that you need to devote some love and attention to, and begin to create boundaries around and make some of those areas a priority. Over time, when you spend more energy on those other gas tanks that are lacking, they fill up and others deplete. So now this visual representation allows you to shift your focus on what is needed, helping you create that flexibility I was speaking of and shift gears when needed. They're not all going to be filled at the same time, and that's okay. It's not learning to break yourself to have them all filled up, but instead, when it's learning to shift your attention when it's needed, so that you can fill those up, and you start feeling more optimal about your life, because in the moment you're able to then know which are the areas that you're struggling in and which are the ones that are needing your attention. So like when you're feeling good in the area, that's when it's time to shift gears and look at something else. So for example, if you are a mom and you're filling up your gas tank on your kids, you're always devoting to them, but you're still feeling maybe burnt out and stressed, we have to look at the other gas tanks. Maybe you and your partner haven't had enough time together. Maybe your social life is depleted. Maybe your alone time is depleted, or your health is. Maybe your exercise and eating. So it's recognizing that the kids stay for a bit, and maybe putting in a boundary that you start creating some time for you, so you can also fill up that gas tank. When you're feeling confident and that's a new habit, you can then shift, move on to something else. Maybe then it's your social life. Maybe then it's your partner, and you keep going, and you kind of shift through all of these gas tanks. Again, that you're floating between what is important to you and what needs some TLC at this moment. Again, there's going to be some areas that are on your list that you need to do, things that you want to do, and things that you have to do in those gas tanks. And this helps to balance between all of those areas. So again, when you're working with self and all the areas that are important to you in your overall that idea that I have to have all of those gas tanks filled up at once. Sometimes you're going to engage in more social time, you know, summer months, COVID's kind of lifting. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be less house cleaning at that time because maybe you have, young kids. Something else is always going to try to take over. And again, we want to know that if we put a ball down and we pick up something else, can we come back to that ball and pick it up and keep forward? Okay. This helps you, like I said, be flexible. That's what we really want to learn to do, is just to be flexible and then start communicating and advocating for yourself in the other areas that need to be filled up.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so
I think I
much.
froze.
Oh, yes. I think you're back. You good? Can you hear me and see me?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This was so important. This is one level of training that we dive well into inside the Stress Less Method. This is an area that so many of us, as busy professional moms, women's wives, just in the season of life of being busy and go, that this type of information and training is so helpful to break down the areas, and it breaks things down into smaller, more manageable tasks instead of viewing everything all at once, of having to do it all at once. And it really gives us the freedom to say, I'm going to leave this for now and I'll come back to it some other time, and really looking at supporting all of these different areas and nurturing all these different areas in our life. So thank you so much for sharing this information, Steph.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. When we are viewing everything at once and we're trying to do it all at once, this just maintains that all or nothing thinking instead of seeing life as a spectrum. When you live in the all or nothing, you can't quite do it all. You're going to constantly feel like you're failing as a parent, as a woman, as a partner, so on. These failures are going to keep kind of piling up. It's really time to change again that narrative and really break away, that this is really that's not the only way to feel like you're living life when you have it all done. Okay, we want to aim to feel like we're present and fully present and be intentional with our time and enjoying our life. And that's learning that art of flexibility.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking some time out of your day. I hope this resonates with you. I hope that you have gained so much more insight on this. I hope this helps you navigate how to go from here, so you don't feel like you're constantly juggling all the balls or dropping all the balls. If you would like more information on these gas tanks, or want to learn more on how to navigate all of these different aspects for yourself, comment below with your question or send us a DM, and give us your question through the private messaging. Other than that, we will see you all next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.